ice.
Hey everybody. Yes, nice ice on your beer there, Steve. And welcome to the show. I'm Kate Dillon, and this is Steve Hendren, my co-host on Sundays for Unsealed.
Co-conspirator?
No, we are not going to say those words. No, we are not co-conspirators. We're just co-hosts on the Unsealed show on Facebook, which is also the Racing Insiders podcast, which is exciting. We're bringing that podcast back to life and made some changes this week to the podcast, which you were kind of invisible, but I changed software. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that important?
I think it's important to me.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, it means it's gonna it's software things, boring geek stuff. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody, and it's been an eventful week, has it not?
It's been interesting, like a lot of news and a lot of like bad stuff and other things. So
I mean, I'll be real for a second. All of this negativity is absolutely getting to me.
Oh yeah.
It really is. It's like beginning of April all over again. You know, like there were times in April where I just didn't even want to get out of bed because it was just so freaking depressing and you can't turn on Facebook. So today, you know what? I want this to be a beacon of light in the darkness.
You know, well, should we if this isn't like a beacon of light, but like last night at our local Chili's,
this is definitely not a beacon of light.
Some dude shot another dude because the guy wasn't wearing a fucking mask.
Remember, we're not trying to not swear on the show.
Oh, trying to swear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you think that's gone a little bit too far? I don't care which camp you're in, but shooting people over arguing about masks is about the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life. And we saw some of the video, and I mean, the people were really getting harassed. I don't know which side is right. There's no right side on this. Just mind your damn business.
Well, that's the moral of the story. Don't get shot by not, criticizing somebody for not wearing a mask.
Well, and harassing them.
Harassing them.
Going back and forth about how wrong they are.
Yeah, because Governor Cooper says you have to wear a mask. So,
yeah. I'm telling you, I am so...
Mind your own damn business, basically.
I am over every bit of this.
Yep.
Well, and I think it's a sign for all of us to mind our own damn business. Because you know how a story goes away?
How?
You stop talking about it.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how a story goes away. So I've seen more about NASCAR in the past week than I've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think we should stop talking about it.
Yeah. NASCAR trying to bring in a whole new fan base.
Well, good luck with that.
How'd that work?
Well, yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. It doesn't change the fact that the racing is boring. So
no, exactly.
There's that. All right, so we've got some folks here, and we're going to say hi to some folks. I see ZN Racewares is here. Brandon Marshall says, hey, Kate and Steve. Hey,
What's
Brandon. Scott says, hi from California, still masked and locked down, but no lightning and thunder. Well, you probably can hear that in here.
Yeah, we actually had some earlier. That's why we were a little bit delayed, just because...
Well, between that and Steve playing his golf game.
Well, I had to play my, Golf Clash.
Golf Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Cat Daddy's team, man. I gotta represent.
Whose team are you on?
Cat Daddy.
I don't know.
Clint Smith.
Okay.
Like one of the most badass race car drivers ever. So.
Cool.
We're on the same team.
Yeah. Did you see any good racing this weekend? Any good results? Because I got on Facebook for a few minutes.
Honestly, I haven't looked. I haven't looked since last night. I saw my buddy Benji wrecked hard, but.
I saw that too. Yeah, that showed up in the first part of the feed.
But other than that, I really haven't looked.
And I understand there's a bad wreck at Lawrence, but gosh, I'm trying to bring some positivity to the show, and there's nothing.
Well, bring some positivity. Let's do. What did we talk about earlier this week? What are we going to do for our top 5 thing or whatever?
Well, we decided that we were going to talk about our top favorite cities, and we were going to talk about the top worst cities. But you know what? I don't really want to talk about worst cities.
I do, because
I know, but okay, which one do you want to start with?
I don't know. Let's start on a positive note.
Let's go with that.
All right. And you can go first. Now, this isn't necessarily cities. It could be towns or shires or...
Shires. Because we have so many shires in the United States, right?
There's a couple, I think, up north.
Really?
In Yankee land up there.
Okay. Well, how about you kick us off? Because I went first last week.
All right, number 5 for me is my hometown, Santa Cruz, California. one of the most beautiful places you'll ever visit in your entire life. And if you have the opportunity to go there, go there. You don't want to live there because the cost of living is just outrageous, but it's an awesome place to visit because you got the redwood forest and you got the ocean.
You know, I like Santa Cruz. I'd have to say that right around there, I like the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Capitola is one of the prettiest towns I've ever seen, or at least it was 20 years ago when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on my top 5, and I went with cities that I limited myself to cities I've been to in the last 5 years. So, so my number 5 is Charleston, South Carolina.
I've never been there.
I love Charleston. Beautiful beaches, great seafood. I love the downtown, the market downtown. You can get all kinds of cool stuff by craftsmen. In fact, you know, I'm kind of a sucker for handmade soaps. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with a soap so much that I actually ordered it online from Charleston.
Oh, wow.
Yes, from the Old Whaling Company. Yeah, that happens to be my favorite. Okay, number 4.
Number 4, now this is all in my head. I did not prepare cue cards, so I'm going to have to go with Nashville, Tennessee.
Interestingly, because number 4 on my list...
you actually have cue cards.
I do have a cue card, and number 4 on mine is also Nashville, Tennessee. Yep. You and I were in Nashville.
Not so long ago, but I mean, Nashville is just like, it's like Nash Vegas, basically. I mean, you go down there, you bar hop from bar to bar to bar, and there's different music. I mean, everybody thinks it's like country music, which I hate country music, so it's not. I mean, you go down there, you can hear some freaking awesome rock bands, and I mean, it's just a good time.
Well, and even during the day, because I went to the Ryman, and that was where the Grand Ole Opry used to be at, that theater. I mean, just there's so much cool history in that town is what I really love about Nashville. Yep. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right, number 3.
Oh, because yours was the same.
My number 4 was the same. We purposely do not compare notes so that we can argue about the things.
Well, that's true. My number 3 is going to be Moscow, Russia.
Okay, well, I've not been there.
You have not been there. Probably most people have not been there, but it is an amazing city. And if you have the opportunity, because I like history, so
yeah, I can't believe you're bringing Russian collusion to the show.
I am totally. I'm a Trump guy, so I'm Russian collusion.
Well, you gotta have a favorite story about Moscow, or what's her name?
So you're number 2.
My number 2 is gonna be San Antonio, Texas.
I love San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went
and
there.
I'm wearing my San Antonio shirt from Biergarten. And I'm representing because it was a fantastic German restaurant.
You're like super German, so
I am super German. I'm not just sort of German. I'm super German. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people ask my nationality, and I am super German.
Super German.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Super Bavarian, right?
Yeah, like German.
God, I couldn't pronounce it. I was like, oh,
I don't know. How many beers are you in?
Not that many.
But down there, the Riverwalk is just so amazing. Yep. You know, we saw the Alamo. And I think there's even more to see than what we saw, and just we were there for like 5 days, I think. Yep. And that wasn't the first time I'd been to San Antonio. I've been there before.
I had never been.
And it was it's a cool place.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
And we got that trip for free, thanks to General Motors.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, GM.
Thank you, GM. Yes. All right, so you're number 1.
My number 1 is the only city in the world that I would live in and retire in and be perfectly happy strolling around in my lederhosen. Vienna, Austria.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So.
Okay. And tell us what you love about Vienna.
Everything. There's nothing to not like about Vienna, Austria.
Okay.
Beautiful city right down there in the 1st district. I mean, you've got anything you look in history, Vienna is like a hub of historical stuff. And I mean, for me, that's what I like.
Okay, well, I'm super American, and it is the week before 4th of July.
Well, that's true.
So, I mean, you're going...
What are we going to blow up?
Straight up foreign. I don't know. We'll have to ask Andy.
I don't know. We're going to blow some shit up.
We'll have to ask Andy, because we're going to go to Andy's.
Oh, are we? Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Going to Andy's.
All right, now it's my top 1. Do you have a guess of what...
I'm going to go see his big deck.
We are. Do you have a guess on what my number one is?
Probably, if I had to guess, it's going to be where you moved from to move here.
That would be right, and that would be Boise, Idaho, because it is the best city ever. Boise, Idaho has everything. Well, you've got the airport right there, so you can get to so many different places. You have the opera, you have the symphony, the ballet. You've got a university there.
Because you like the opera and the symphony and the ballet.
Mostly I love the opera, but you just have it all. You have one of the most progressive economic development situations. I mean, even after 2008, of course, there was a little bit of a hiccup, but what was amazing is that when I left there in 2013 to come here, and then I went back in 2017 to sell my house because, I kind of have to live here. So it was amazing to see the amount of growth.
Oh, yeah.
While other places were stagnant or behind where they were, there was Boise, Idaho just up and above everybody else and continuing to grow. So that was pretty fantastic.
So should we do the top 5 shitholes we've been to?
We're not calling them that. Worst cities, if you want to call them worst cities. If you want to bring the negativity, I do have my list.
Okay. All right, let's roll.
So I'll start
this.
I'll start this one. So my bad cities, number 5, and this is just going to be like disappointments to me because and number 5 for me is going to be Seattle. There's no way that I'd want to go there right now. And do you know that I spent several weeks in Seattle. I had projects out there.
Seattle was badass back in the grunge days, right? Which I kind of assume that's when you were there.
No, it was not when I was there. Well, I've been there during that time, yes, when I was on the road. But then when I worked for the architectural firm, we started doing Starbucks redos. So I went and traded at Starbucks for an entire week to learn drafting software out there. Yeah, they were very inspirational in how I decided to run my business, where kind of have like a little bit of a Google idea.
So your list here is more of a letdown than a
these
shithole.
These are going to be we're not going to use that word on this show. Okay. We're going to say worst cities right now.
Right. Worst cities. Okay.
Worst cities right now. So what's your number 5?
Oakland, California.
Well, that's always been that way.
That's why I'm stating the obvious. I don't think I need to expand on that, but yeah. No. Oakland, California. Horrible place.
All right, now my number 4 is going to be Las Vegas. I used to spend a lot of time in Vegas. I was there every year for New Year's for the 5 years that I was on the road. And
a lot of people want to go to Vegas, and you're dissing Vegas?
Well, I am dissing Vegas because the last I heard from, I haven't had this experience personally, but a lot of our friends who had a class out there went out to Vegas, and it just smells like marijuana everywhere. So I guess if that's your thing, fine, but it's not mine. And Vegas is a really weird place. I saw it change. I went there a lot, even when I worked for the architectural firm, because I had a lot of projects down in Nevada. And I saw it really morph. Here's a crazy thing. As a smoker, the last smoking lounge I've seen in an airport has been Salt Lake City, Utah. You know who used to have one? Vegas. You know who took it away? Vegas, because they're trying to be a family city. Right. So this family city now is like weed capital of the West. So I'm just, I wouldn't want to go there now. Yeah. All right. And it's a letdown. I gotcha. All right, so number 4 for you.
I actually didn't prepare for the shithole. I mean the cities we don't like. I'm gonna say probably Atlanta, Georgia. Because it is a pure hellhole. There's nothing about Atlanta that I like, enjoy, would promote, would advise anybody to go there for.
Atlanta is one of the scariest cities to drive through. They drive so fast.
It's extremely,
so fast.
Weird.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Now, this is a city I do plan on going back to, but it's going to be New York City. It's going to be my number 3.
That's my number 3, actually.
Because, the crazy part is back in the 90s. So in the 80s, I was telling the story last night that in the 80s, we saw these movies where the subways are covered in graffiti and all of that. And then I went there in the 90s and I rode the subway for the first time. And of course, I'm this Iowa, Minnesota girl, totally freaked out, thinking I'm just going to see, I'm just preparing myself to figure out that it's super clean and all of that. But clearly coronavirus has really come in and with the riots and everything else. But there's one reason I do want to go back.
Why?
I want to see, it's on my bucket list to see at least one performance of the Met Opera in person. I've seen Met Opera performances like where I've gone to a movie theater and paid like $25 to go to a movie theater and watch a performance live. But my goodness, nothing would be more amazing than seeing the Met Opera in person in New York City.
I mean, this is my number 3 because, I mean, kind of for a different reason, but I went there one time. I basically flew in there coming back from Europe, and I booked a hotel that was literally like one block off of, what the hell's that damn...
Times Square?
Yeah, basically one block off of there. And it was the biggest flea bag hotel ever. I couldn't stay there.
Well, that was pre-internet days.
It was horrible. I mean, it was like during the internet days, but it was just...
You do not have a great history of picking hotels.
I do not, no. So anyways, it was a total shithole. So, like, you like drive down...
Worst city.
Worst city. You like drive down the main drag, everything's cool. You go one block off of there, it's slum. So, to me, New York City, Manhattan, that whole...
And how...
it's like 2 different things, but anyways, like, that whole area is just like...
And when was the last time you were there?
19, or well, yeah, or no, it would have been like 2004 or 5.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, it was like horrible to me.
Yeah.
So we had the same number 3, that's kind of weird.
All right, so my number 2, Minneapolis. That's a big disappointment.
That's a big shock.
It's a disappointment.
Is it because the cops beat the shit out of innocent people?
Just stop. No, I mean, it was, I grew up in Minnesota. And...
You did, actually.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's going on there from day to day, but it's not a place I'd want to go to right now. And that's what makes... This list is making me so sad, because clearly I love to travel.
Right.
I mean, this is just what made the top 5. I'm going to have to go with an honorable mention or 2 here. But it's... As far as the places I'd want to go, but truthfully right now, I don't know that I want to leave the house. And I travel a lot because I want to.
Yep.
And it's really sad. So, but Minneapolis would be a place that I would want to go to. Yeah, right now.
My number 2 is San Francisco, California.
Gotcha.
A long time ago, it was a pretty cool place to go. But nowadays, I mean, you're going to step on like human poop in the street, basically.
Well, and to segue into that, actually, number 1 on my list is San Francisco.
Really?
It is.
Wow.
I mean, there's my list right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, here's what's sad is that...
it's kind of funny how we're like... we
Before,
both traveled a lot. And
yeah.
Like, we're kind of like coming up
but not...
similar...
And some together, but not a lot. But... Right before I moved out here in 2013, I had like a free Southwest ticket that was going to expire. So I just decided, okay, well, I'm just going to go take myself someplace for a weekend when I lived in Boise there. And I settled on San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And I grabbed a backpack, and that's just what I did. Yeah. Just grabbed my backpack. I didn't even have hotel reservations. I booked an architectural tour because that sounded pretty cool.
It's kind of a fun deal, yeah.
And I just went on a little adventure for the whole weekend.
Yep.
And it's unlikely that I would do that today.
Yeah.
And it's really, really... See, that's what's so sad to me, is that some of these places were really, really great. They were really amazing places with so much to offer, and now not so much for various different reasons. Not always the same one.
Yeah.
So, it's really sad.
So my number 1 is actually different than your number 1, because you went...
Because my number 1 is your number 2, yeah.
Was my number 2 and your number 1. So my number 1, I got to go foreign here again. Paris, France. It's a total crap hole.
Okay.
So, you got a bunch of rude, snobby French people, and it's dirty. Probably dirtier than New York City, actually. So it's like a horrible place. Anyways, unless you're rich. I guess if you're rich and you go there, then you can like do all the cool shit there is to do in Paris if you're rich. But
okay.
I wasn't, so I didn't.
Gotcha. All right, we're gonna take a look at some comments. Let's weigh in on some of the comments that some of our friends have here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to turn down the volume here. I'm not trying to compete with ourselves.
And we do still answer questions, so
yeah, we will do that for sure. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Eric's here from Dawsonville, Georgia. Scott says, thanks for the rewind from 1994 Watsonville.
Oh.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there that anybody who has videotapes that are races back in the day, get with Steve or I, because we have the Racing Rewind channel where we have these old races. The idea isn't that it's like a shrine to Steve or anything in his video collection.
No.
We're actually running pretty low on those, so unless you've got a whole big old stash somewhere.
I got a big bag in there for you.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what all's in there. I just grabbed a bunch out of the cabinet.
I wonder how many wedding videos I'm going to have to watch.
Well, I did actually see that, so I did not put that in there.
Okay. Good deal. Let's see. Brian says, okay, so we're getting into some questions here. Okay. Although Jensen Ford says, hey, dude, I stayed in Santa Cruz one time and it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I was born and raised there, and I could never imagine a better place to be born and raised. As far as living there, kind of a different story due to the cost of living and the policies of that town.
Yeah.
Anti-business, anti-anything that, is kind of cool other than tourism.
All right, I'm gonna go through the city posts here and just the hi. So Rhonda Scott Good says hello, Steve and Kate.
Yep.
And Betty says, Kate, you're missing something today. She's probably talking about my scarf that is also my hijab.
Or your new tattoo.
/ mask. No, my tattoo washed off.
Mine didn't.
Didn't it?
It's still there.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, we are children. We are children sometimes. Rhonda says she agrees with you on Oakland.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Although Jim says go to Vegas during the duel in the desert.
Well, you know what I actually do like is Reno. Reno is like an awesome little town, and there's nothing more badass than being there during like hot August nights, because you got like all the rod runs and everything downtown, and I mean they used to do this. I don't know if they do it anymore, but it used to be a thing, and so you like see all sorts of cool cars, and I mean Reno's freaking badass. I mean that would have been in my top 10. It wasn't in my top 5, but yeah, Reno would have been in my top 10.
It's never really been, but it is one of the most fun places to fly into. It's like, especially if you're flying in Southwest, you're like coming in la 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 in your little airplane, and then they dive bomb into the airport.
It's kind of like going into Salt Lake. Salt Lake's interesting too.
Yeah, it is, but not nearly as much of a dive bomb as Reno is. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so now Brian's got a question. Brian Schwartz has a question here. It says, asphalt late model using a 604 with 650 horsepower. 650 HP. Is it? I can't imagine.
It's probably a carburetor. 650 HP carburetor.
All right. Is it worth utilizing tri-Y headers, a X pipe with 2 mufflers, or a 2-into-1 exhaust? What have you seen work the best running tracks like Hickory or Caraway? I'm curious if a scavenging exhaust is beneficial or hurts the performance of it.
I have personally not done a lot of work on that, but what I can refer you to is I would call Andy at Pro Fabrication and talk to him about the exhaust side of things. What he recommends, I believe, is going to be the X pipe rather than the Y pipe, because the X pipe actually produces more torque. So I would look up Pro Fabrication, call and talk to Andrew Garris, and I'm pretty sure he will hook you up with the X pipe deal. Because from what he's told me on all their testing is that's pretty much the best deal. Or I mean, from producing more torque and everything else.
Cool.
So.
All right, next up, Michael Persinger says, should you be using a filter with lower micron filtering? The Wix Racing has higher volume, but filters around 60. Napa Gold goes down to 15-ish.
Honestly, I don't know the micron details of everything, but like years and years ago, what we would do would be use the Napa Gold 3-inch filter, and then we would change it literally every race. So we did that for years until they came up with the R2C, and then R2C went to shit, and then now we deal with Walker, which is and honestly, I haven't even researched what the microns of that filter is, but.
Well, are we talking about air filters or oil filters here?
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
what
is Napa Gold goes down to 15?
Oh, yeah. If we're talking about oil filters,
I think so. Because I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's both. I mean, we used the Napa Gold air filter for years, and we also used the oil filter for years. Oil filter wise, I mean, we use the Wix racing filter.
Mm-hmm. It's perfectly fine for what we do.
I mean, for what we're doing, it's like perfectly fine. I mean, flow wise, it's fine. Now, I will say, before R2C went into the shitter, we used their oil filters for quite a while, actually, because the flow was up, the flow increase was up,
and the microns were down,
and the microns were down. But
yeah. Okay, so your mom says, yes, they do hot August nights in Reno, but canceled it this year.
Ah, well, yeah,
of
probably because of the Rona.
And so that's what Rhonda said too. And Brian says, okay, thank you, will do. He'll call Andy.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Andy's like on top of this stuff. I mean, asphalt wise, I mean, man, those guys, they got it going on, asphalt.
Yeah.
I mean, dirt too, but asphalt, they've been doing that for years.
Okay.
I mean, when you got the guys who actually build all the headers for NASCAR, they know what works.
True. Very true. All right, so Ken says, would a 602 perform better with longer exhaust, adding extensions?
It depends. It depends on the headers you've got, the conditions you're under as far as like what kind of car it is and everything else. If we're talking like a 602 in a late model, not necessarily. If we're talking a 602 in a like street stock, yeah, depending on the header you're using, I've seen it to where, 14 to 18 inches of extension, if you're not running like one of our anaerobic version mufflers, definitely makes a difference, and it helps. So
great. Michael was talking about oil filters.
Okay.
So that
oil
was
filter,
the Napa
yeah.
versus the Wix. Mikey's here. He says hi to both of us, and congratulations to Mikey. It was really exciting. We did the D1 challenge, Mikey Burnham.
Oh, okay.
We did the D1 challenge and asked racers to make videos about the Daytona 1 products, and we announced the winner this week was Jeremiah Reed.
Nice.
Was the winner for the People's Choice. I mean, it was.
So you got like what, $500 or something?
You got $500, and all the other 4 finalists are each getting $50.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So it's
I think my kid was like one of the finalists, right?
He was.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was just a matter of like, getting out there and asking people to vote, and one of those type of deals.
It's promoting the product and yourself and everything else. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought it was a really good experiment, and I really appreciated, Daytona 1 working with us here at Crate Insider to, come up with something.
Well, Buck's awesome. So.
Yes, and I would certainly encourage, any other manufacturers that want to get involved and bring some sponsorship to racing and have this some kind of a competition. Yep. I'd certainly be open to, designing that and figuring that out, and seeing what we could do for it's just a win-win-win all the way around.
Absolutely.
So, and I'll be incorporating some of those videos into the Crate Insider website.
And you had a lot of people who submitted videos who didn't make the final 5 that were friggin' awesome. I mean, you had people that you had people that like did it, made a video the first time they've ever done it. It was which is so amazing
gratifying.
To me, so.
Yeah, and Mikey's was really entertaining. This wasn't one that hey, I didn't pick it. Buck didn't pick it. This is just people's choice. So this is just vote.
I mean,
that's all you can really do there. So yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, guys, keep on dropping in those questions there that you've got. And I don't know what else other positivity can we bring to the table. I wrote an article this week called "It's Time for Racing, Not Racism."
Is that positivity or is that negativity? Because like there was like a lot of negativity versus for a racetrack here in the Carolinas that the owner decided to like go rogue and post a bunch of stupid shit on the internet. So is it positive to say, hey, don't post stupid shit on the internet?
Well, the positive part is the fact, I know. That's the bottom line. I'll ask yourself as you're posting, as you're commenting, is this something that I'd want to stand behind? Is this something, like looking at our mask situation and the shooting last night, I just keep asking myself, is that the hill you want to die on?
No, not for me.
I don't care that strongly one way or the other for me to get shot over it.
No.
I will tell you. That's how I feel about it. And is your voice really going to add anything to the conversation to be racist or say something stupid? Make something that you think is a cute joke and then get national attention and racing gets yet another black eye? Yeah. We don't need that.
And the attention of the idiot governor we have.
But here's what we got going on right now is all of a sudden, since we're the only sport that's operating much, we have this big spotlight on to racing that's never been there before, even at the grassroots level. And what are we going to do with it? Are we going to choose to say, hey, let's do some interviews with the drivers that are going to be here this week. Let's talk about why we race and all of that. Are we going to do that? Or are we going to get sucked into the politics?
Yeah.
What message do you want fans to go home with? What message is going to bring fans into those stands rather than the track we're talking about, which I'm not going to talk about because I don't want it to get any more publicity.
No, it needs no more publicity than what it already got.
And you got armed gunmen standing at the gate.
Yeah, it's just not a good choice.
Heck no, it's not. And they're losing their sponsors left and right, as I would expect to. So, yes. Oh, Casey says, been listening to the podcast of these shows, very informative. Why won't you do a 602 for IMCA?
Because I'm not IMCA certified.
IMCA is very particular about who they will allow to be engine builders in their program, and we don't have any IMCA tracks in this part of the country.
Basically, I refuse to give IMCA money, so I can't be a builder. That's what it comes down to. You know, because to get anything approved in IMCA, you give them money. I noticed you're like looking down at the key. I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm not, because I don't know how you can say you've been denied when you don't even try.
Well,
have you made the phone call? I have, and they didn't want to talk to me. So that's my experience.
Yeah, I made a phone call about 5 years ago, and that didn't work out. So.
Well, I mean, if you want anything bad enough, keep working at it.
Well, I don't want it that
bad.
I
think things have changed quite a bit too. So there's that. Conduct is what matters, is what Rhonda said. But yeah, conduct is what matters, and it's how we conduct ourselves on social media. I know one person wrote me and said, hey, well, I think social media is the death of racing. And I'm going to disagree with that because...
I don't think it is unless people make it that.
Well, I think what we have is we have the biggest opportunity that's ever been. Because otherwise, if we're going to wait for ABC News or a USA Today to write about our grassroots racing efforts in Rutherford, North Carolina, I think I'm probably still waiting.
Right.
I will be waiting until I die.
No, I know.
So what we have now is we have social media, and it allows us to get in front of the eyeballs of the exact people who could be potential fans, be potential sponsors.
In a positive way, if you use it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, but saying social media kills racing is right up there with saying guns kill people. They don't. I mean, forks don't make you fat, and pens don't write, or, spray paint cans don't write graffiti.
No.
I mean, let's how about we take a little bit of responsibility. Okay. Let's see. Ken says, dirt open wheel modified, planning on adding like 30 inches or more to his exhaust system. I don't think that would do anything.
I've never seen that work, honestly. 30 inches? No. I mean, if it's like your rule that you have to do that, then you're just stuck around what you got to do. But, like, I know, like, big block modifieds up in, New York, Pennsylvania, that area, like they've got, like, an exhaust rule where it has to, like, exit out behind the axle, I believe, or something like that. You're just stuck around what that is. But, I mean, if you don't have to do that, don't do that.
All right, Will is asking, does octane booster actually help when using non-ethanol pump gas?
No. In a crate engine application, no. No, if you're using non-ethanol pump gas, then you need to stick with that without the octane booster. Because 602s, for instance, like that's normally where that rule applies is 602s. They will run better with the lower octane fuel because it's a low compression engine. Now, I mean, if you had like a 10-to-1 or 11-to-1 engine, then totally different story. But you don't with a 602 if it's legal.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Gotcha. I don't have any more questions. Keep asking questions, guys, and we will answer them. I think that's pretty much all of the goings on this week, hasn't it? I think I gave you all my updates.
No, I mean I had a loss in my family this week that would be, you know, it's pretty horrible actually. My best friend's dad passed away, so it was you know, like my second dad kind of thing. So it was a pretty horrible deal, and you know, it's been kind of cool in the sense that we've been, well, Rhonda's on here, Rhonda
right. Mm-hmm.
Scott Good, and she's been sending me photos and stuff like that I think she's finding, you know, going through stuff or whatever, but it's, you know, it was a shitty deal. So
in Rhonda, if you find some videotapes, interestingly enough, now is Rhonda Bobby's sister?
Correct.
So
his younger sister.
Okay.
My best friend, Bobby Scott.
And then Bob Scott is
Bob
the
Scott
dad
Senior
that
was
died.
he passed away this week on the 24th. So.
Well, and it randomly turned out that the video that we posted, was it on Wednesday or Friday, that it was Bobby Scott running dirt modified for the first time.
He was running my dirt modified, or my, well, I guess it's IMCA modified out there now, but at the time it was NASCAR modified.
Yeah, Grand American modifieds
at the time, but yeah, it was like a video with him racing that. And actually the video came from a friend of mine who, she had cystic fibrosis, and she bought Bobby Scott, my best friend's car, from like 1993. She raced it in 94, and then unfortunately she passed away, succumbed to her disease in 97. But yeah, she was awesome.
Interesting. Okay, so Dennis is asking 602 on alcohol.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can do it, yeah. Methanol, 100%.
If they'll let you run it. I don't know that there's that many series that allow you run alcohol with a 602.
I don't know. Yeah,
But
I mean, if it's legal to do it, do it. Methanol's like, that's free torque, man.
Yeah. Feel safe buying a new 602 or one that someone has already run.
The problem that I've seen with 602s is, unless you know the exact history of the engine, like, I mean, if you call me and I've got a customer who's got one for sale, I'm gonna refer you to that guy to talk to him, because most of my customers actually know how to take care of engines, but randomly buying one off the internet that's used, I would not do that.
Wouldn't either. Casey says, understand that IMCA needs to get theirs. Well, yeah, I mean, we all have I think we all need to realize that racing is a business, regardless of which part of it you're engaged in.
It's a business, and different people run their businesses different ways. I mean, I throw off a lot on IMCA, but the fact is they're still out there running and giving people places to race. So
they are.
I'm not throwing off on them in that way. I mean, do I agree with everything they do? No. Am I going to try to put them out of business by talking shit about them? No, because they're a necessity for that part of the country.
Well, otherwise you end up with, at least they've really pulled together a lot of places. I mean, whether you agree with their rules or not, they've been very good for racing, I think.
I don't disagree with that.
So
I'm just saying, I'll make fun of them when I get a chance to, but it's not because I don't want them to succeed. It's because I can make fun of them.
Okay. Mikey says, when is Steve going to accept my awesome Facebook friend request? Mikey Burnham. I think his Facebook is probably like mine, where it's stacked up with about 150 friend requests.
Yeah,
and
it's insane.
I don't know, I just go through.
If you delete the request and then resend it, I'll accept you.
I don't know that you can delete a request.
You can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, you used to be able to. I don't know about now. But.
Okay, Rhonda says, thank you, Steve. He is smiling down on you. I think Mom may have some videos. Great.
Well, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Because Bob was the king of the single leggers back in the day.
What?
back when I started racing, and when Bob's number was like number 56, right?
Okay.
And the reason it was 56 is that's how old he was when he started racing.
Oh, cool.
So he, at the time, the street stocks back in California where I raced, they could not run a locked rear end. So it's called a single legger, because you had basically one tire turning. And he was freaking awesome. He kicked their ass in that stuff. And at the time, we were building his engines. Me and my dad.
Cool. Ethan says, I run one of your 604 engines and need a matched set of valve springs. Are they available? We'll have
Right
more
there.
604 matched valve springs this week.
Yep, right there.
I think we're out of them right this minute, but we'll have some more this week.
We rate them for Kate, and Kate sells them through Crate Insider.
Yep.
So that's the best way to get a hold of a set.
Yep. CrateInsider.com, under engine components is where we can find those.
Right.
Or you can just do a search for like matched beehive. All right, Doug, he says he has a unique application.
Mm-hmm.
What muffler do you advise using on this setup? 360 CID, 11-to-1 world heads, has long primary tubes to go outside frame on 34 Ford, and yes, the world lost a good man when Bob passed.
It's like a hot rod, I assume.
Sounds like that to me.
I mean, is it like a street deal or like a racing application of some sort, or?
I've given you all the information that I know.
Yeah, I mean, I need more information, but
Okay.
but like,
And Rhonda is commenting. She says actually 54 was his first number and age.
well, that's true. Yeah.
Got to keep going back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer to this question yet. On Doug's question, his unique application. So I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yes. So I think it's supposed to rain every day this week.
Yeah, that's about par. It's North Carolina.
Yeah. North Carolina rainforest.
Well, it's Rutherford County too. So you and I actually looked this up years ago.
We did.
We're just like sitting somewhere.
No, we were
like-
driving down the road.
Yeah, and we looked up like the average rainfall of Rutherford County, North Carolina, and it was like more than Bangkok, Thailand.
No, it was less, but it was 36 inches here and 54 inches in tsunami country or a typhoon or what is it called?
It's essentially
Tsunami.
equal to Seattle, though.
No. Seattle had less. Seattle has only
Yeah.
like 24 inches and we get 36.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it was insane. I think we're going to have to maybe start taking our show inside because our video is fuzzy.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Phone's getting on, I guess.
Probably. We got new phones this week, too. Or sometime in the last week.
Well, it's getting up on July 4th here, so that's like the hottest time of the year here in this area. So pretty
July
much-
and August.
Pretty much every day is miserable.
Yeah, I'm really glad my air conditioning is working.
Yeah.
Well, except we have it turned off because that way it makes noise. Otherwise,
Right.
it makes noise during the
Exactly.
show, and we don't like that. Okay, so Doug is answered. He has a dirt car. Tried to post a pic. See the Junkyard Dog Hardtop World
Okay.
Headquarters.
All right.
Look at the shirt he sent you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the
No.
shirt.
Okay. I got
Okay.
you.
So-
Oh well, that's yeah. You didn't say his last name, Roderick. So,
Well,
yeah. Now I know.
okay.
So the original question was
Muffler.
muffler. If you have to meet a DBA rule because you're in California, I would probably look still towards that Borla muffler, which we ran years ago, and that's what I'd probably run.
Cool. All right, Tim Pato asks, did you like the nickname Speedy Steve Hendren?
I never did, actually. It's like so ironic. Yeah, and I know Tim rather well, actually, and it was never. No, I didn't. I mean, it stuck, and that's what it was. But I was never, I mean, it just wasn't my. I never liked it.
Well, which one did you hate worse? Motorhead Steve Hendren or Speedy Steve Hendren?
Well, Wesley did the whole Motorhead thing. I don't like Wesley's deal. So.
Okay. Is there ever been a nickname you liked? Did you have any ones in Australia or anything that you liked?
No. I mean, well, the ones in Australia was like Damn Yank or whatever. So, I mean, that's what we dealt with. But, no, I mean, the whole Speedy Steve thing is like, yeah, I mean, I look back at it now, and I don't hate it as much. At the time, I did not like it at all. But,
Speedy.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It's not a bad nickname.
It depends on what you're doing.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I certainly went there. So, racing. Racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're racing, maybe it's a good idea. If you're doing anything else, maybe not
Not so
such
much,
a good
yeah.
idea.
All right. So Jeff asked, Steve, you going to race again?
I would love to, but right now I'm like hanging out and like let my kid get a little bit of seat time and let him do his thing. If business allows us to do it, yeah, I mean, I would love to race again. So.
Well, you got a fire suit and a helmet. You just need to.
And I'll be honest. Like going to the races on Saturday night with him, to me, I am not like a good racing parent.
No, you're not.
It's not that I'm worried about him. It's just I get tore up because, no, and obviously I don't take this out on him, but because I'm not like a douchebag parent, not like the little league parent, but I find it hard to advise him on things because I know what I know and how I want shit to be. And it's hard to relate to him because he's going to be a little bit different than me. It's kind of a pain in the ass for me, actually. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not a pain in the ass that he's racing. It's just I'm just not a good teacher when it comes to things like that.
You are not.
No, I mean, you come to the shop, I'll teach you how to do machine work, but I'm just not good at racing.
Rhonda asks if you're bossy with Alex. No, it's just that he doesn't. No. He just doesn't explain anything. He'll just be like, "Well, I would have done that different," which is not helpful at all. That's what I've seen your teaching style be.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
You're a doer, not a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a both. I'm a bother, but not when it comes to racing things. All right. Billy Ray Jr. says, try running a Ford B-Mod in UMP country, LOL. About to cave and buy a 602 just to have tracks I'm legal at or go A-Mod. Thank God some tracks still have open motor option and support the art of engine building. Thank you for the content.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting thing, trying to run a Ford in
yeah, that would
area.
be.
Yeah.
Chris,
I ran a Ford in my mod.
It's a different world.
Yeah, well, it's like totally different because this was like in 1994 when I ran a mod. So
yeah, and
I raced it on Friday nights and run the late model on Saturdays. But we had we had a Ford. We did that because of the claim rule. Because who the hell wants to claim a Ford?
There you go.
Nobody.
All right, Christopher says, hey from Monterey, California. I was talking about Monterey just a little while ago.
Yeah, you were
here.
actually.
Yep. And that he also likes the video from 94 at Watsonville.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. That's been a popular video.
We got more coming up.
Yep.
There's like tons more videos coming.
Yeah, it's a process.
I brought you like a whole new stack today. So
you did. It's a process. So this
and if we can ever get anybody else to send damn videos.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm really holding out for is, so my friend Tommy is getting a box of videos, I think today, and he's going to send them to me. And it was really interesting after the show last week and talking to my dad, that my dad has never seen himself race, ever.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he was a very winning driver in the Midwest. Yeah. And so I'm really hoping that these tapes coming from Iowa will have, I mean, it would just be amazing to see my dad race.
That'd be awesome.
Yep. Okay. Billy Ray says, my family runs a late model out in North Carolina, Corky Williams Car 32. I'm jealous of y'all's long season. Yeah, we have one heck of a long season. If without
they're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. He says my family runs. Well, Billy Ray may not be. Billy Ray he's in UMP country, but his family is in North Carolina. I think. Okay, so he's jealous of our long season.
Don't be jealous of the long season because there is no off season here. And that can get pretty annoying. You know,
it really it can be incredibly taxing. I would say.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like this roller coaster. I mean, I think if it was just steady all the time, it'd be one thing. But it's just this it's this like constant roller coaster of emotions. It's like get excited, but we need a long season because it rains all the time in the summertime.
We lose a lot of races every year to rain. So.
Yep. Let's see. Jeff says he watched Steve wax their ass at Antioch years ago. You were waxing asses? I didn't know. We all have different career paths. I do know what that phrase means.
It's still one of my favorite tracks ever. I mean,
I know it is.
I had a lot of success there. I was really, probably more luck than anything. But I mean, we went there every night to win races, and if we didn't win, then I wasn't in a good mood.
No, I can't imagine.
I'm one of those kind of race car drivers where shit breaks or I don't win, then I'm mad.
It doesn't surprise me. All right, Christopher says he's been telling JP2 to dig them out and send to you.
Well, yeah, I wish he would.
That's James Pettit?
Jimmy Pettit, yeah. Yeah, he's probably got a lot of that stuff. And the other one is my Eddie Sands. I mean, he's trying to get his dad to send him some shit back here to North Carolina.
Well, and I met the son, didn't I?
Yeah, you did in Antioch. Antioch here in North Carolina.
Right.
And, if Eddie'd get his dad to send some, that'd be freaking awesome. Because Ed's probably got some damn good videos.
That would be cool.
So's Jimmy Pettit. I mean,
well, and this really goes for anybody.
Stuff.
I mean, anybody, of course I can't. This stuff just gets old.
And it doesn't have to be all California. That's what we're...
No. This is... Basically, if it's a race that exists on a videotape.
Correct.
Non-digitized,
like, not
like
iPhone 11 taken thing.
Well, and like... We're not really going for the NASCAR stuff where we're into those issues. I mean, I understand like it was NASCAR sanctioned back in your day. That's not what I mean.
We're talking short track racing.
Yeah.
So whether it be asphalt, whether it be dirt, whatever.
Yeah.
If you got videos, send them.
Yeah, because...
And talk to Kate, message her, message me, give you an address to send them to. We'll send them back.
Yeah.
We just want to digitize them and get the stuff out there because that was some of the best racing ever back in the day.
Well, there was a lot of passing and stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Well, and you may have even, if you've gone through that process of taking a videotape to someplace and already getting it digitized, I don't have to do that work. That's great.
Well, you had what's his name send you
Billy,
yeah, sent you the sprint car thing from Antioch.
He sure did, yeah, and he was able just to put it into
it was from like 98.
I think it might have been
2004, something like that,
right?
Yeah.
But he was able to send it to me a Google Drive link, and I grabbed it from there, and I put our little racing rewind stuff on it, just so that it has that continuity through everything else.
Yep.
And this isn't the You Show. It's just let's.
No, it's not. We just started this shit because I had like enough videotapes where we could actually start something to make it go.
Yeah, and it's just one of those ideas that we kind of had. And it was funny because I started that digitizing process in September of last year when you brought those tapes over.
You did, actually, yeah.
But I really didn't launch the channel until coronavirus. So, I mean, coronavirus is really, there's a lot of crap that's, there's a lot of bad. But the good that's come out of it, of course, is this show right here that we have weekly.
Right.
And then the new Racing Rewind channel. Those are really a direct result of coronavirus. So, yeah, there we go. So thank you for that, I guess.
Well,
Not really.
Thank you, COVID.
I guess.
Thank you, Chinese government.
I'm just trying to be grateful find gratitude wherever I can and bring positivity to the world, And if I have to scream that, then I will scream it too.
There you go.
All right. Christopher's asking Steve, what was your first late model? An old Ray Morgan car?
Yeah, actually, I bought Ray Morgan's. Well, here's what actually happened. Because I was 16 years old, or I was 15 years old actually at the time. And my parents knew I wanted to race, and I really did want to race. What they did was they took out a loan, and they bought in their name, but I had to pay the loan off. So they bought Ray Morgan's 1986 late model, and that was my first car. And so it was a stall chassis, a Dana stall deal, and that's where I got my start. So they bought it. I had to pay for it. I still remember this day every week going down to the bank and depositing half my paycheck into paying for the race car I had.
Wow.
So.
All right, Tim says, Jimmy just won last week here in Antioch, California.
Yep, we saw that. That was awesome.
Still kicking butt in the 6 car. David says, just got back into racing in Louisiana and got a 604 crate late model. Car has an MSD box, but it doesn't have a rev limiter. I'm guessing older box. Would I be all right running it, or should I upgrade my system?
You'd be all right. I mean, you can actually buy like a separate soft touch rev limiter and install that in there, and it's like all pretty much plug and play. So you can you can use the older box with that soft touch rev limiter.
Cool.
So put a chip in it, and you're good to go.
And speaking of crate late models, I've of course been working with Brian Littleton at Race Logic chassis seminars for the past few years. This year is the first year we've done where we recorded the class. Brought all my video equipment.
That's been a huge deal, actually.
It really has, and we did that for the street stocks. But coming into next year, into 2021, we'll be making plans for a crate late model class. You'll be one of the speakers. We've talked about that a little bit, and still finalizing the details on that. But for anybody who's watching, that is street stocks. I just saw a picture today. I think that Brian tagged me in where the racer said, hey, through all the blown motors and everything else, that one thing that really helped it was a victory lane photo, and they landed in victory lane after all the things that they learned from the Race Logic chassis seminar. So you can go to racelogic.vip, and I'm very proud of the work we did there.
Oh, absolutely.
And I learned a lot, and really looking forward to that crate late model class. But even if you've got a late model, I think you'd get a lot out of the street stock class. Because, I took Alex with me as your son.
Yes,
came with me
correct.
as my other cameraman. So we needed 2 cameras to run. So he came with me, and he said he really took away a lot of
You were like
knowledge.
all the way down in Alabama, right?
We were.
Yeah.
Flew into Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have made my list. But
Wait, the good list or the bad list?
it wouldn't have been the good list.
Okay, all right. just checking.
It wouldn't have been it would have been the. But you know what? Actually, so we went to Justin McCree's shop. Justin has a great shop down there, High Roller Chassis, and you wouldn't believe they do Mercedes down there. There's like this multiple giant Mercedes plants where they're building Mercedes-Benz.
Well, it's probably like going
there.
across the border to South Carolina where you got the big BMW plant.
Pretty much.
Right?
And we were really thinking that, there wasn't like a Holiday Inn Express to stay in. I was really pretty sketchy about the hotel. It turned out to be a really nice, clean place, super nice people. So, if we get the chance to go back down to High Roller and stay in that same hotel, I'm 100% on board. Really, really a nice place. That's where, where I really just try to be very particular about hotels.
And you even went there during football season where everybody's running around screaming Bama.
Probably, but that would have been we were 30-45 minutes away from the airport from Birmingham.
Thank God.
So yeah, we were a ways. Yeah. We were out in the country for sure.
Yep.
So there wasn't a ton of options
Nope.
there. Let's see. Christopher says NASCAR Winston late models in California was the best racing ever.
Honestly,
seen.
It's the best racing I've ever been involved with.
I don't know. If I could pull up if I could get some Iowa races from the late 70s, early 80s, the stuff that my dad was running.
Well, it's going to be very similar.
Very similar.
Because you did not know who was going to win every night you went there.
Yeah.
And we had normally packed grandstands because everybody had their favorite.
Well, there were rivalries and bounties.
There was rivalries and bounties and all that stuff that we had going on. And honestly, you had no clue who the hell was going to win.
No.
Until the night was over. And, sometimes it was just a luck of a restart or luck of, whatever.
Well, and you heard my dad talking about the Iowa racing where the guys he's racing against were all World 100 winners.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, your dad was racing against friggin',
Yeah, World 100 winners. That was weekly competition.
Correct.
It's kind of like coming here to Crate Late Model.
Like where I raced in California, I was racing as regional champions.
Yeah.
So we're talking guys who had reached the pinnacle of what we were doing out there, nationally actually.
Yeah.
And I was racing against those guys every Friday, Saturday night.
Well, my dad has one of those Winston Cup helmets like what you have too.
Yeah, I got 4 of those, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how many Dad has. He's got quite a few. I think, he's got more than one.
I'm sure your dad's got a buttload of them too. But.
Probably. I don't know. I'm just going to keep comparing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. No, I think we're right at about an hour now. It's hot.
I'm going to get another beer, actually, because I'm freaking hot.
Yeah, and I think we're out of questions. I think we're good.
Are we out of questions?
Yeah, we're out of questions. So we've talked about our best and worst cities of the week.
Yep.
Answered a few questions.
Yep. Talked about the shooting last night at Chili's.
Unbelievable.
Because somebody's shooting somebody over not wearing a mask. Or, no, wait. The guy who was not wearing the mask shot the dude who was criticizing him for not wearing a mask.
Right.
Yeah. It was completely insane.
I don't know. I guess pick a hill you're going to die on, but I just think that there's more important things in life than it's just not a hill I'm gonna die on. Yeah. Oh. Okay, we got one more question here.
That's cool. I'm like almost done filling up the beer.
Okay. Then I will get you your question. So Steve's getting a beer from the. In case anybody's new to the show, there's a kegerator right inside because of.
Because that's what I do.
Because coronavirus.
What's that shirt? I drink and I know things?
Yes. The green flags drops. It hesitates for a split second and I can't figure it out. I have multi-fire wires, competition, carburation.
Yeah, it's going to be the way the carburetor's set up. If you'll call me Monday, I'll let you talk to my brother. And my brother Mike. And Mike can pretty much hook you up on how to probably solve the issue you have.
And he's got 67 jets in the car.
Yeah, the jets aren't going to make a difference. It's going to be what you got for pump cam and everything else. So what was the question?
Just where's your 29 car?
Well,
you've had about 50 of them, so who knows which one he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know
no
which.
idea.
I don't know which one, but like, if we're talking about the one in California, the last one that I had, gosh, I sold that. I can't remember who I sold it to. Dang. I sold it to somebody, and then I think somebody in Antioch in California has that car now.
Okay.
And they're actually still racing it.
Wow.
And that was a car my brother built.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So.
Alrighty, well, we're going to wrap it up for this week. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I think that's all my calls to action. But definitely check out RacingInsidersPodcast.com. For parts, you can go to CrateInsider.com. And I think that's...
It was kind of an unexciting show today, actually.
Well,
we didn't argue about anything. We kind of agreed on most things.
We kind of agreed on... I'm being more agreeable because I'm just really tired of the negativity in the world. So that's why. So I'm not bringing all the energy today.
No, you're not. You're kind of like a blah.
Thanks.
What's up with that?
Because the energy is just really dragging out of me, and I'm going to have to just really refresh the positive energy in myself so that I can put out positivity in the world, and hopefully positivity comes back.
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to immerse myself in positive, happy things.
Like what?
Rainbows and unicorns.
Rainbows and unicorns.
No, happy, positive things. I made the mistake of watching a sad documentary this morning before I woke up.
Oh, before you woke up?
No, when I woke up, because YouTube was still playing on my TV. And then I didn't expect to be sad by the end of it, but I was sad by the end of it.
Yeah.
So I didn't
You'll have that.
I know. But it's kind of inspiring to me because I'm thinking about a racing documentary, and I don't know, thinking about it.
Well, what would be interesting to me if you're talking racing would be to document people such as your father who used to race.
Yeah. And
race successfully. And it'd be interesting to hear their stories about, your dad told a couple stories which I kind of coerced him into doing.
Yeah. And he told some more after the camera was off.
Yeah, and of course after the camera's off he's telling more, which is it's so interesting to me to listen to him talk about that stuff, because he was the guy, not necessarily himself, but that was that generation of racer that I was looking up to as I was coming up and starting to race.
Right.
So any story your dad has, I'm all ears. I'm listen to everything.
And now I even understand bump steer. See, did you notice how my dad does such a great job of explaining things so that I understand them?
Correct.
So, not that I'm going to become a race car engineer, but
no.
He always explains things in a way that don't ever make me feel stupid, but that I do understand.
But you know what you had back in the day, which is interesting to me? Your dad is not, educated per se. He doesn't have an engineering degree. But you know what? He figured this shit out way before everybody else did. So
innovative. I really didn't know until I had a racing business, and then roads keep leading back to Dad. Because, of course, my last name being Dillon, I get a lot of times, I'll have people ask, so are you related to? And I just stop them. Yeah. Because I know what they're going to ask.
Dumbass Austin Dillon.
Yes. So, no, but then it's actually cooler that my dad's Dick Schultz.
Correct.
So anyway, but yeah.
Because you kind of changed your own name, right?
I did. That's another story for another day.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So we'll go from there.
We'll go with that. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. We'll have some dinner.
I got a barbecue.
Yep, you got a barbecue. gonna make some brats.
What were you drinking today, by the way?
I was drinking chelada. Usually I ask you the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
And you're drinking your Ultra.
Ultra on draft.
Ultra on
Which
draft.
there has been like a crisis in Rutherford County. So nobody could get kegs of Ultra. I couldn't. None of the restaurants could. Everybody was out of the shit.
Yeah.
Which is scary. Because
So,
we don't want that to happen ever
no,
again.
that's a bad deal. That's a bad deal. All
It's
right.
all because of the COVID.
I know. Over it. Over it. All of it. All right. So I think we can wrap it up because
Yep.
we're rambling at this point.
We are.
All right.
Yep,
So
totally.
anyway, thank you so much for being here. I
Yep.
will be back on Crate Insider Live on Tuesday for Top 5 Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesdays, Eastern Time. And then we'll be back
And,
here.
Yeah, we'll be back, like, next Sunday?
Yeah.
With probably, like, another top 5 or 10 list of, like, crazy shit.
And if you have a suggestion on what you'd like to see us do top 5 lists on,
that'd be kind of fun.
that would be a lot of fun.
Because we're like racking our brains trying to think of stuff to
Well,
like.
we're just
come
trying
up
to
with.
bring something fun and interesting to the show. So last week it was top 5 stupid rules, and this week it's best and worst cities.
I think the stupid rules thing was like way better than our city thing we came up with.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be bitchy today.
Yeah, but you woke up and watched a documentary and now you're bitchy.
It made me sad. I wasn't bitchy today. The negativity is getting to me. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to refresh myself with some positive energy.
Okay.
And bring the energy. Bring the energy.
Bring it. Bring it next week.
I will.
All right, next week will be more exciting. Guarantee.
You. And thank you all for being here. Thanks for being
Thank
part of the
you.
show. And we'll see you next time.